I had 17 years of my life where I felt that there was something mentally wrong with me because of the stuff that I experienced. It was a little small house in Glen Burnie, Maryland. The house is this whole community was actually built for soldier housing coming back after World War II. And since then, we fell into private homes and stuff like that. The woman who was there and her daughters were all being tormented by something. One of the daughters was really, really scared because she said she could hear talking and stuff like that, and it was freaking everybody out. So we started talking, and as we were talking, she starts telling me that all this stuff seems to happen at the end of this hallway, in between these bedrooms. It's a real small house. So I said, all right, well, let me try something. Took a tri-field meter, turned it on. The squeaking sound starts coming from the device, and I'm like, okay, we're getting something. So we let it sit for a minute, and it started getting louder and passing off, like something was getting near it and leaving. So I thought, well, let me try taking a few pictures down here while we're doing this. Well, set everything up, put the camera on the tripod, turn the lights out. A couple seconds before I was about to push for the first picture, I saw these two, I can only say look like, red LED lights come and peer out from the side of the doorway. And it was causing the squeaking to the device. And no figure, just the lights. And we're sitting there staring at it like, what the hell is that, And then it just sort of went back in again, and then the device stopped squeaking again. Whatever was there actually injured me during the investigation. I was sitting at base, which is where we have our DVR system monitors. I'm monitoring the cameras through the different parts of the house, and I could start smelling what smelled like cigar smoke. As I'm sitting there, I start feeling this little burning sensation on the back of my neck, and it got increasingly worse. And I got to a certain point where I actually had to stand up, and I went outside. I feel someone shove me, like right in the small of my back, just pushed me forward, and I went a good 2-3 paces forward before I could catch myself. And I could feel the hand. I could literally feel the digits in the palm and everything. Then the next thing I know, I'm looking at the Potomac. I don't remember leaving that part of the woods and finding this clearing and finding a cinder block in the middle of the woods to sit on. None of that, there was no memory of that. And the effects of it, I felt like I hadn't had sleep in days that lasted 2 days after. Feeling nauseous, then went right into anxiety, then went right into anger, and it kept intermitting. At some points I started giggling, and then, if you would have watched me, you would have thought I was just insane. The next day, actually, we had a perfectly good-sized cigar ring diameter on the burn on the back of my neck.
Like Philip, I conjure thee to speak to me. Speak as thou dost speak to Jonas and Mercy. Dost thou understand my English tongue? Answer me.
What dost thou want?
What canst thou give?
Wouldst thou like the taste of butter, a pretty dress? Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Yes.
Everything with a demon has a payment plan. And if you step into the dance with the demon, you best be able to pay for the dance. And I'm telling you, you can't. You bleed, and it doesn't. He lived about maybe 5 minutes down the road. And we're there, and we walk in, and the one thing I noticed right off the bat is that every time I took a few steps, the temperature changed drastically in the house, and there was no reason for it. Then there were different bad smells, really bad smells. We went into his room, and he took off his watch, and he goes, "You want to see a trick?" And he put his watch on a shelf, and he closed the closet door, and he goes, "Get my watch." And I opened up the closet door, and I reached up. The watch had moved, and I never heard it move. And I thought, that's got to be a trick. there's something wrong with that shelf. And I start looking for strings or something, anything. He goes, close the door again. And I closed the door. And it was in another position when I opened it again. All kinds of things continued on in that house. Huge story to, I mean, just from me getting from his bedroom to the front door, seemed like it was 2 years with everything that went wrong, trying to get me to the front door. But it didn't stop there. Everybody who moves in has a very bad experience, and their family falls apart. There's suicides, there's murders. My other friend lived around the corner. Her brother walked out into the backyard with a shotgun and blew his wife's head off in front of his 2 kids. He loved his wife. He worshiped her, and he worshiped those kids. It seems vulnerability. He loved his wife so much that it was almost madness. He got kicked over to madness by the demon. And as long as it can feed, it will stay attached to the ground because the horror is still on the ground.
Well, we're Badass Spirit Outlaws. We are Ghostbusters, but we're not technically busting ghosts. We do Paranormal 101, so we'll have everybody come up to our office and teach them about equipment. Then we have our public investigations and house investigations. So we're a very busy team. There's a lot on our team that are sensitives, but we are also scientific. A lot of mediums you'll find are very scientific because we want to show people that we're not fake. And so I want people to understand that we are real. We're not nuts, that we can be validated through scientific equipment, proving to the world that there's more to this world than meets the eye. There is life after death, and we've got the proof. Because there's spirits everywhere. I mean, you have spirits, he has spirits, you have spirits, everybody has spirits with them. There's tons of spirits around me all the time. And so when we go to a place that is active, we call it active. People like haunted. Well, it's not really haunted, but active. They present themselves in different ways. And so I actually see spirits from almost like inception. So when they were there before a building was even there. And I can say, oh, they belong to the ground, or no, they're here with this building. So they're just always there. To me, there's hundreds everywhere, all the time. And when you go to an activity, in a very active place like tonight, we're sure it won't disappoint. There's a lady that is on the theater stage, and she likes to hang out there in her little costume. From what she had told me in the past is she hangs around there because that's what she loved to do. She was once there before it was a theater. There's a gentleman that's very angry, or he was that way. He just, how do you put it? He's not physically angry. So people, are like, oh, he's gonna hurt us. No. If I feel that something's going to hurt, or spirit's going to hurt somebody, I usually won't even go into that place because I don't want to have to deal with that. He's just angry because he's not being heard. And what I've been told, I just saw him because he didn't like me. Spirits don't like people that can actually see them, but then you have the spirits that are like, wow, you're a portal, go give this message to this person. This spirit does not like that mediums go in there because he doesn't like talking to them. He doesn't want those kind of people to see him, because we see him all the time.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Legend has it there's a little girl behind the curtains, and she likes to wander the halls.
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever and ever and ever.
There is a spirit up in the booth where they do all their lighting and stuff. He must have been a lighting director or something. Haven't got that together, and I'm hoping to figure that out tonight.
All right, so this is the Off-Broadway Theater. It has been many, many things. It was first built by the Cliff family. He basically didn't know that he was a multimillionaire until about he was ready to die, and then he found out that he actually owned all these stocks in mines. And then when he found out about this, his wife built this building. And inside this building, she built this theater that you're in right now. And she basically wanted to show this to the city of Salt Lake, and so she could have her friends and family always have a place for entertainment. The controversy thing about this is that this was the Heretic Theater. There's a ghost named Rachel that's here in this place. Now, the first sighting of Rachel happened actually down here in the ladies' restroom. And it was a mom and a daughter, and as they were coming out, they took a look in the mirror, and they saw an old pioneer lady in the mirror, way back in the mirror, and they stopped and they're like, this is kind of weird, maybe this is like a trick thing that the theater does. And then the pioneer woman kept getting closer and closer and closer. And then as soon as she stuck her head out the window, they ran up these stairs. And as soon as they got up here, they looked up there on this balcony up there, and she was there waiting for them and staring at them. And so she freaked out so bad that she actually ran out to the box office and said, like, there's a freaky lady in your bathroom and this, like that. And there was nobody here in the theater except for those. They were the last two patrons that were leaving. So there's been many sightings of Rachel in different places. The really cool thing about that is even though we've told stories about Rachel, it's always fun when there's like a new employee or a new actor that out of nowhere goes like, holy crap, I was at the stage and this lady named Rachel introduced herself to me and she dressed like a pioneer. So there's been many people that have actually seen Rachel, and the cool thing about it is when they hear the name and they tell us about the name, there's no way that these new people could have found out. The other ghost that's up here is up in this balcony, right up over in here. There's an old man that many people have seen. And one of the actors, Russ, didn't believe in any of this stuff. And so Russ, he was staying here. He was staying here one night, sleeping up there. And he said that he saw an old man with white hair. And he was like sitting up on the balcony. So he tried to talk to him, nothing happened. He came up the stairs and the old man appeared and yelled at him. And so it scared Russ half to death that Russ was a non-believer. He saw him 3 more times while he's been here. And after that, he never stayed the night ever here again. When people come in to do like visits, a lot of times we don't tell them what the names or who they are, just to kind of see like if they pick up something. And some of the psychics have never picked up anything, but it's always just the random stranger that lags behind that gets the visit. So the last time somebody came in, they met Rachel, and they also had some activity down in the basement where like all the costumes are in the dressing rooms. Now, people said that they saw animals, like ghost animals, and they were pretty freaked out about it. And so at that particular ghost hunt, they left. They were done with the hunt. And nobody knew anything about it, but it was, and those people that came on the ghost hunt that day, the people that saw the pets, they were actually devil worshippers. They were pagans. So they thought that they could come on this ghost hunt and bring forth evil spirits and like that they're going to be cool with them and everything else. But apparently they've never actually seen anything. And so they actually saw something and refused to ever come back. And those are friends of mine, and they have not stepped foot in this theater ever since.